Welcome back to another College Chats podcast. On this episode, we're going to talk to our guest about his hopes and expectations for his team this year. But first, with the Chaps, I'm George and I'm joined by Alex. How are you, Mr. Chinnery?
Yeah, feeling good. And very much enjoyed our meet up last weekend, and looking forward to chatting to a head coach. These are always my favourite. Always love having coaches on and hearing coaches' perspectives.
As it doesn't happen often enough for us. But our guest is currently enjoying a 43-year career as a football coach. Hope he doesn't mind me saying that, which has spanned both college football and the NFL. Starting off with Middle Tennessee, his career has had stops at Baylor, UTEP, Tennessee Titans, and NC State before joining Georgia Tech in 2010. A period in which he coached alongside the legendary head coach Paul Johnson for 9 seasons with the Yellow Jackets. Today, however, he is the head coach of a team that we have talked about quite a bit over the last couple of years, the Sewanee Tigers. So it's awesome to welcome the head coach of the University of South football team, Andy McCollum. Coach, welcome. How are you? How's life on the mountain?
Hey, well, life is good. I appreciate y'all having me on, Alex and George. We're excited about what's going on, and our kids report tomorrow, and so we get started to try to make some more history up here.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, we really appreciate it because we know, as you said, your team reports back tomorrow. This was really our last window to speak to you, so it's fantastic to have a chance to chat. Now, we found out about the Sewanee Tigers because of the Iron Men, right? That incredible
Sure.
story that we learned about. We've since spoken to David Neil Drews, who wrote a book about it. I know you know David. So that's kind of what we know about Sewanee in the past. And we know the founding members of the SEC, and then things changed. The school decided to go in a different way. You joined the Tigers last year. Um, Two questions. What made you join Sewanee? Because as I've just talked about, you had a very storied career. So what made you come to Sewanee? And were you aware of the history of the program before you joined?
Well, I got a call and visited with John Shackelford, the athletic director here. He'd only been athletic director here for a couple of years. Long-time legend tennis coach here. Won a lot of championships. Tennis program here is top in America and national champions and everything else. But he had retired from that and was becoming athletic director, and so I flew in. I'm familiar with Tennessee as being head coach at Middle Tennessee State for 7 years, and some time spent played at Austin P in this state. In my hometown, Marietta, Georgia, in but 2 hours from here. So I've always come over this mountain, recruiting wise, recruiting Georgia from Tennessee, all those things, but I never really spent a lot of time on the campus. And a good friend of mine, John Wyndham, used to be the head coach here. So I knew a little bit about it from John. And so when I came here on the visit, I was at Buffalo with Maurice Lindquist. We'd just come off our bowl win against Georgia Southern down in the Camilla Bowl. And so when I came here, I saw the beauty of it. I knew the history of Sewanee. I knew about the 1899 team that took a train right down here at the bottom of the mountain that I pass by every time I go home. I watched a documentary that had sent to me. David and them sent it to me, and I watched it. Me and my wife watched it one night. I was so fired up, I drove straight to Atlanta to try to get a D lineman immediately. But when I got here, we had 38 total players on the roster, and that dwindled a couple more. Down, we had 4 total offensive linemen in the whole program. Going into our first year, we signed 38 kids last year, so we got it up to about 76. Played 18 freshmen. And our quarterback was newcomer of the year out of Augusta, Georgia, and got a lot of good experience. And we won a few games, and we were competitive in a lot of games, and it hadn't been like that in a while. So we've got something. We got a couple schools that we still got to catch up on, but we put the block S on our helmet for the tradition of the football team here. Every picture you look at, there's a block S here, and our kids loved it. And so we wear the block S on our helmet, really to represent the history of the teams are here, and being a charter member of the SEC. I mean, you look at the schedule in 1899, they played the University of Tennessee up here on this mountain, and which is amazing to even think about right now. We give an award out at our first banquet, representing the 1899 team, and it's our toughness award, because if you watch that, it ain't like that no more. My kids joked when I gave the award out, and we showed the picture, and they joked, asked if I was on that team, and I said no, I wasn't on that team. But it's a lot of history. The major, Shirley Majors and all the ones that the Major family, Johnny May, all of them grew up right around here. Phil Fulmer grew up right down the bottom of this mountain, who I was able to work with for a little bit of time. So there's so much tradition, and this place, is so, y'all, if you came up here, there ought to be a college game day up here. I mean, you've never seen anything pretty as this right here. I think it just got rated #1 prettiest campuses in the country at this level. But then we just signed 46 more guys, so my roster fixed to be 95 this year. So we're getting caught up. The thing about this is one of the top academic schools in the country. And so what I'm looking for is guys who are serious about education, love playing football. Ain't complicated. Just give me somebody serious about education, love playing football, and we got a place for you. And so that's how we're getting it built. You come up this mountain, there's a big cross, and being a Christian man, there's a big cross on the side of the mountain that's lit up at night, representing, I think, is the World War II veterans that were here. On my birthday, our team jogged out to the cross, 1.5 miles from the office, and a rainy, cold day, and I thought it was like Remember the Titans. I thought it was the coolest thing. We went out there and met as a team and prayed out there, and so there's so many things that can happen here. But I just think it would be a great story when I came to look at it, and being at Buffalo, and this level, George, you're dealing with kids that love playing football. Mm-hmm. It's not everybody wanting to bounce around and go to another school, or if you don't start, you're trying to leave, or coach gets on you, you're trying to quit, or these kids. When I met them, there was 8 to 10 kids here that, I mean, they were reaching out saying, we want discipline, we want to be held accountable, we want to win, we don't want to be embarrassed to wear a Sewanee Tigers shirt around here. And those kids sold me on it, and so it's every day I come is a blessing. And I can't wait to see these kids. I love this team. I love these kids, and they fight, and they want to do good, and they're smart, and so they love playing. So I've got a Division I staff sitting up here, guys that have a lot of history, and so we're having a good time doing it.
So you've obviously coached at some of the best schools in the country. Right, you've got experience all over Division I. How different is it coaching at Division III level? And is it more about developing the best people you can rather than developing the best athletes necessarily? Because these kids in D3, the real top kids there might go on and play in the league, right? But the vast majority of the kids that come through your program, they're going to have to go and get a job in everyday life. So it's about teaching them those skills.
Well, the great thing that I see about this mountain, you get a degree from here, you're set up for the rest of your life. The network here, the Sewanee alum, the faithful here, the ones that live on this mountain, they take care of these kids. And you're exactly right. It is a different level. I don't have GAs up here. I don't have student assistants. I don't have analysts. We don't have I got 6 full-time guys and a football operation guy. And so we're handling equipment. We're handling the practice field. I got 1 video guy. But and I'm telling you, you get tired of the entitlement. You get tired. I've been around so many good players, and I love recruiting, and I love competing, and I've had over 100 either recruit or coach into the NFL. I've worked with some great, just like you said, George Paul Johnson. I mean, I worked with Tom O'Brien at North Carolina. I said Phil Fulmer at Tennessee for a brief period. Boots Donnelly at Middle Tennessee State. I've been around Chuck Reedy at Baylor University. And I've been around some great kids, but I got about 5 or 6 more years that I still got the same energy and passion that I had when I started. I just can't move around as fast. So I'm enjoying this. I'm enjoying that the kids, they know they're not going to play much after this. Now, my job is to get some up here that want to play at the next level, and they can. And we have some that are going to be capable of doing that. And we're proud of that fact. And we're going to have a pro day here next year. We're going to have guys that whether it be at the highest level, the UFL or Arena League, we're going to have some guys here with these classes we got. We got a few seniors this year that have an opportunity. So I want that dream and go for them. But also, my guy that don't make it's got a 3.7 up here. He's already got a degree. I mean, he already got a job at one of the top banks in America. So they're the network here. And I'm going to tell you this, and Alex, it's a great question. The thing I see here is when a kid comes here, he's going to walk out 4 years later with the same group of kids that he came in here with. There's something to that. Yeah. It was like it at Austin Peay when I played. And we had it wasn't people transfer; they might quit because it was too hard or too tough back in them days. But some of my best friends are still my grass buddies that we fought with at Austin Peay. So the thing I see about the network of these guys is that they're going to be here when they walk in. They're going to be when they walk out. The greatest thing that happened to me this year, we started for 76 people, our first camp. And when school started 18 days later, still had 76. I ain't never been nowhere like that. I've never coached anywhere that the same group that came in was still battling and still fighting for each other. So there's a love for it. There's a camaraderie. We're sitting up here on 13,000 acres with lakes and streams and rock climbing and all like that. And it's like I tell anybody, if you want to go to party and hang out at clubs, don't come to Sewanee. You got to drive a little while to get to that. But they have a great time up here. It's a close-knit group. The professors basically live up here on this mountain, what they call a domain. So it is it's real football. It's real football. And there's good teams in this conference. So, we're just trying to get where we can compete. And I can't imagine, it was really something last year is we started the season off 3-1. All right. And my goal was when I took the job at my press conference, I told them that I wanted to see a traffic jam up on this mountain on Saturdays. And that's what I wanted. And they knocked on my door on that day. We're playing Birmingham Southern, who it's now the school's closed down. We're playing Birmingham Southern, who beat this team the year before, I think 59-0 or something. And we're playing, there's over 5,000 up here, y'all. Set a record of people, our student body. I mean, I've been in front of 100,000. I've been in front of, that's the coolest walkout onto a field for these kids that I've ever been around. You get tear-eyed. I mean, and they deserved it. And we even had the ball driving to win the game at the end, and we turned it over. So it ought to be like that. We ought to have every Saturday that people want to come up. And it's like I tell everybody around here. They think about it. Everybody pulling for Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, all like that. Well, we ain't got to be your first team. That will be your second team. All y'all can't get tickets to them games. So come up here and hang out with the Tigers.
I think I want to come and play for you, Coach, but I'm not as fast as I used to be either, to be honest. So I'm not sure I'm going to be much use to you. My next question was about using the Iron Tigers as motivation, but actually, I think I'd much rather ask the question: where do you find your motivation from? Because you're clearly a very enthusiastic man. I said at the start, this is your 43rd year in football or coaching. Where do you find the motivation and the energy from? Where do you draw it from?
God, I've been blessed. I've been blessed to do it this long. I have a great wife that's very supportive of what I do. I still have a passion for these kids. College football, we're supposed to be here to make difference in their lives. And I've gone through, and it's like I tell people when I'm recruiting them, I've been up there. I'm enjoying watching these kids be successful. I'm enjoying when we won our first conference game in 18 years, or not, I'm sorry, first beat one team first time in 18 years to see the joy there's still a joy about playing football. There's still a love about playing football. There's still a love about having great teammates. And I think anytime in football, if when you finish playing a game, the biggest compliment you could ever get was he a great teammate. And I learned that growing up through the coaches that I grew up with. So I'm watching these kids just, I know, and the thing about it is I knew they had a work ethic because they got to do it over here on the other side of the mountain. I mean, they got to do it on campus. So don't tell me they don't have a work ethic. And I believe this, Jordan, and I guess this is what I believe wholeheartedly, and I tell my staff, whatever you demand, you're going to get, as long as they know you love them and you care about them. And so these kids wanted to be demanded. There's still a place for discipline in this country. There's still a place for discipline in football. Does that mean you got to cuss them and grab them? But no, but hold them accountable. And that's still something that ain't being done in a lot of places. We're more worried about the how we dress, the money, the this, the that. Just be great teammates. I want our kids to have fun. I want when they score, have the time of your life. I'm not that old school. I don't want you to do that. But I do think that they want to be demanded. And, you hear the saying, and I heard somebody, and I'm a big Nick Saban fan, because I think when he speaks, you better be listening because he is, whether you like him, don't like him, whether he worked for him, didn't work for him, the things that he says, you look and say, yep. And if you're not, then you're not in it for the right reasons. And I still think that you can still demand on kids. And I'm watching it happen. I mean, if I got a meeting and I'm late for y'all, so here I am saying the bad thing is, but if I got a meeting and one thing we can all control is being on time, and I want our kids to understand that because in the real world, that's where it's going to be. And I want our kids ready to walk into the real world. I want our kids, and I tell them all the time, my passion is 10 years from now, whether I'm here or not, whether I'm still breathing, is that you're going to raise a family 10 years from now. So what do they want you to say about your daddy? What do they want to say? Well, look what I did. And I want guys here who want to make a difference. I mean, don't just come here and be a guy. I want to try to play everybody. Now you got to earn that, but the things that they do to put in here to be a Sewanee Tiger is off the charts. And like I said, I got a great athletic director. We have a great, I think they call it vice chair. I call it president of the university, Dr. Peregrines. And my athletic director is, I mean, this is going to be his legacy too. They know he's a great tennis coach. And let's get football back right. And after seeing all the people show up at one game, shoot, why not? I mean, just why not?
So your athletes report tomorrow. There must be some real feelings of excitement for you right now. I college coach myself. I coach college volleyball over here in the UK, and that night before the first day of report of the new season with the new team is just such a really cool feeling.
Well, if you don't got jitters right now, you ain't a real coach.
100%, 100%. But what does success look like for you guys this year?
That's a great question. Well, number one is when I finish camp, I want to have 95 just like I got coming in here. That would be success. I want these kids to have an opportunity to win every time they walk out on the field. Do I have a number of wins that I have out there? Nope. I think the thing that we got to do is prepare them. I want to fight for a winning season here. That ain't happened here, and I can't tell you how long. But I want our kids to compete every game. I want our kids to go out there and when they walk off the field, they did everything they did or they could to be competitive. If they'll do that and we'll go fight every game, that's taking major steps. And I saw it last year. And the thing about it, Alex, they felt it last year. They felt winning a little bit. They even felt some of the games we lost that don't turn the ball over, take care of the ball, do small things right. Me right now, I think we can. I don't know. I think we can win some games this year. I know we can. Now we got to stay healthy. We got to have some luck. We got to have this, we got to have that. We can't have bad officiating. Uh, uh, it's got to be. We don't get replay. So there's got to be some things that's got to happen to us. So our job is to just get these. We only get. It's different than places I've been. We only get 21 days to get ready. When our kids report tomorrow, we have an acclimation day. We got 21 practices to get ready. So, and we got a great group of freshmen coming in that we got to get some of them ready to play, and depth. So, as long as I know I can walk off field every day, I know even kids went and fought their tails off and represented the ones that went before them. There's something here. We got Alex, you'll like this as a former coach. There's old bridge here. You talk about the tradition, George. There's a bridge here that goes from our building out to the field. Beautiful bridge that goes over a creek that goes out to the stadium. And, when we got here, that bridge wasn't in too good a shape. And I walked in and I looked on the board or the picture wall downstairs. And there was a 1951 All-American picture of a guy down there. And I looked and he was standing right next to that bridge. And I'm like, wow, that bridge that meant something to somebody here in the past. So our staff, like I said, our staff went out there last year and we power cleaned it. Me and my wife spray painted the fence. We cleaned it up. We trimmed, all our coaches trimmed all the weeds off of it and all of that. We put a rock at the end of it because our slogan up here is pound the rock. We live on a rock, and I want our kids to pound the rock every day. Something goes bad, keep pounding the rock, because it's going to turn around. It's going to happen good for you. And and the visiting team used to walk across that bridge. And I said, no, that's the Sewanee Tiger Bridge. And so we moved them to walk around the road. And one team we played didn't quite understand it. We about had a little ruckus down there, and that's okay too. But I want our kids, when they walk across that bridge and they hit that rock, that they're representing all the Sewanee Tigers that came here before them. And there's been a lot of good players, a lot of good men, and a lot of good people in the business world, and lawyers and doctors and people that want to see this come back. And I want our kids to understand that history. I want to bring some of the guys back to talk to these kids. What it meant to wear that Sewanee helmet, what it meant to wear that block S on that helmet. And I think if we can be successful in football, I think it helps the whole athletic department, because I want everybody to win here. We didn't come here just to make this a football school. I want everybody to have success. But I know if football has success, I saw the crowd out there that day. Y'all don't tell me there ain't some people that want football to get back right. So we're going to pour our energy into these kids and know every day we come up this mountain, it's a blessing. And so we're going to play it like that, and we're going to keep pounding it, and I think we'll be successful.
Coach, when we exchanged messages about you coming to speak to us, I was perfectly honest to say that we didn't know anything about D3 football in the US, but it would be a shame not to ask you this question. How does your schedule shape up this year? What are the games that you're most looking forward to playing in?
Every one of them. We opened up our 8 conference games. Berry and Trinity in this conference are they're head of the conference. Center's had a lot of success. The team in red from Memphis has had success. Hendricks, Millsaps out of Mississippi, Hendricks out of Arkansas. We opened up with Maryville. At Maryville, we opened up with them last year, and they got a good program. We played Guilford College for the first time out of Greensboro, North Carolina. We played Westminster here, our first home game, out of Missouri. And who am I missing in the conference? Anybody else? I think it's Trinity out and Southwestern. Trinity and Southwestern are out of Texas. So we'll fly to Trinity this year for that game. And then Southwestern will come to us at that time. So we've got a good schedule, very competitive league. A lot of really good coaches in this league. And so it's a fun schedule. Now it's a bus league. We fly on one trip, and then everything else is a bus ride for us. And that's okay too. So we make the best of it.
Awesome. How has your experience, because you've been there a year now, how's your experience of head coach at Sewanee been versus your expectation of what you thought it was going to be like?
I go back to our first game last year. We played a Maryville team that beat them pretty bad the year before, and a good team. And it was 14-10 at the half. And I'm like, and I think a lot of people thought we was going to go win 10 again or whatever. And I'm like, and I saw some guys fighting and competing. And I thought, we just got to keep coaching and get them believing. There wasn't a lot of belief. And it is. And I think the COVID year knocked a lot of D3 schools down. Now, you lost a lot of kids during that time, so you're still rebounding from a lot of that at this level, which I learned, didn't know much about it. So that's when I saw that they could compete, and then we won a couple of close games. We could have gone 5-5, 6-4 last year. We could have gone 0-10 too. We were close in a lot of them. And like I said, had a lot of freshmen playing, so we had a good off season, and so I'm excited about it. And it's like Alex said. I mean, shoot, I'm nervous as hell. I can't wait to see him. It's like a new little family coming in here. Now we've recruited. We don't have probably a single kid that we ain't been in their home. They hadn't been on campus, or we hadn't been in their school. So we've done our athletic director's done a tremendous job of allowing us to recruit the way I believe in recruiting, and he's helped us there. And the thing about Sewanee, there's teams we compete against that we can't get some of them kids in school here. We have some disadvantages, and that's what makes it even more of a challenge, but more of a like, wow, let's get it done, because we're not gonna bring kids that have to struggle to do it here. We're gonna bring kids here that can do it, and that want to do it, that want to get a degree. If a guy says, I kind of like education, I love football, well, you don't need to come here. If a guy says, I love education, I want a degree, I want to be this, I want to be that, boy, I love playing football, come on. Well, I love education, I want to get a great degree, but I kind of like playing. Well, don't come here. So, and they're out there. And I think this day and time, if you look at the D1s and even the D2s, it's filtering back down, because they're all waiting for portal kids. Well, there's a lot of good high school kids out there that are getting signed and are getting recruited that can play at the next level. And I've had enough that, I recruited at Georgia Tech. They didn't have no offers. I got one that didn't have many offers at all. It's going on his 10th year with the Houston Texans, Shaq Mason right now. Well, they didn't take him. Well, he's only 6'1". Well, or 6'2", whatever Shaq is. Well, his film don't say that. And what's he do? Go start 4 years at Georgia Tech, Associated Press All-American, 10th year in the league, and this is one of the top offensive guards in the NFL. Well, a lot of people didn't pay attention to him. I think, I've told people before, people say, well, he's too short. What's short mean? They're small and they're short. There's a difference. And so if I got the shortest team in America up here on this mountain, and they all love playing football, we'll be all right. I had no problem with that. I like the ones that say, well, they ain't but 5'10". My best linebacker, or one of my best linebackers at Georgia Tech, was 5'10", 220 pounds, and a kid named P.J. Davis. Jeez. Everybody said he was too small too. He signed with the Jacksonville Jaguars out of college. So I want those kids with a chip on their shoulder, and they're out there, and we just got to go find them and get them to understand more. Where is Sewanee? Hell, and for everybody, we're about an hour and a half south of Nashville and 30 minutes above Chattanooga. So we're right there in a beautiful place in the great state of Tennessee.
Well, we wish you all the very best for the season. We'll watch your progress from this side of the pond, Coach, and we hope that people listening to this maybe pick up Sewanee as a second team. So we wish you the very best for the next 21 days, but then for the start of the season. Good luck with the season. It's been awesome to talk to you.
Thank y'all. I appreciate y'all having us on, and we're very, very proud to be a Sewanee Tiger up here on the mountain. And thank y'all.
Thank you. That's all from us in this episode. It's been awesome speaking with Coach, and thanks for taking the time out. As you know, Coach joins a long list of awesome guests on this podcast. So if you haven't already, check out our previous episodes. You can follow us on social media. Thanks again to Coach and Alex for their brilliant input. Thanks for listening. Staying safe and well, and catch you all next time.